All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back, everyone. We're coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Worldwide toll-free, 1-800-610-7035. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv at hotmail.com. And that's also the address for all our social media networks, including, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, and the list goes on and on and on. All social media sites, one address, X Zone Radio TV. And, of course, our main website, xzoneradiotv.com. My guest this hour is Richard Benishai. He was born in Algeria in 1943, and just as his mother went into labor, German planes started bombing his town. In 1956, as Algeria's War of Independence began, his parents moved the family to the United States when the Jewish population became undermined. After a year of college, he found that he was not ready for academics, so he joined the U.S. military, where he served 3 years as a communications and electronics technician. This job led to the communications position with Philco Ford, where he traveled the world solving technical problems. Now, during one of these trips to Israel, he met his future wife and subsequently moved there. Since 2000, Richard has devoted his time to the study and research of geobiology. He has also co-authored many geobiology publications and has intervened for peace in the U.S., the Ivory Coast, Israel, Spain, Portugal, and France. He regularly teaches classes in the U.S., Spain, France, Holland, and Israel. And presently he is working at a global level, increasing the planet's energy level country by country, and working to reduce the problems around nuclear plants. He still lives in Israel, and his website is www.geobiology.co.il, and the name of his book is Mission Mother Earth, Peace Through Mission Mother Earth, Peace Through Geobiology. And Richard, welcome to the X Zone.
Okay, glad to be here, Rob.
Could you just give our listeners the description of geobiology?
Sure. Geobiology, it's almost a science which has to do with how our environment affects our health, basically, our well-being.
Mm-hmm. And what brought your interest into studying and researching and writing on geobiology?
Well, it was kind of a thing where I had to do something to change my lifestyle. I was going to work in the morning, working all day, coming back home, watching TV, going to sleep, and this repeated itself over and over. And one day I said, what am I doing for my fellow men? What am I doing in life? And so I decided to do something which could help out people. And so geobiology is the one subject which can help people.
How can geobiology help people?
Well, we look at different things which have to do with the environment. Some of them are coming from the earth, such as underground currents, the radiation thereof, faults, cracks. We have also cavities. We have also the electromagnetic networks, such as Hartmann and Curry lines.
So it encompasses not only geobiology, but human physiology as well, because one interacts with the other. Am I correct?
Well, our effect on the planet is, in that respect, is very small. The planet affects us much more. Of course, we do affect the planet greatly with with our actions, like pollutions and all kinds of things. But in this respect, it's not two ways. Like being somewhere doesn't affect the planet much. Just being there. It's what we do. Like if we're angry, or if we hate somebody and so on, this creates a lot of negative energy, which is absorbed by the planet. And of course, when it's absorbed by the planet, it affects it. And if you multiply this by billions of people who are on this earth, then it's a lot of negative energy going and being sucked up by the earth.
Wow. Richard, please stand by. You and I have to take our first commercial break. Nation, my guest this hour is Richard Benishai, and we're talking to Richard in Israel today using Skype. His website is www.geobiology.co.il, and the name of his book is Mission Mother Earth, Peace Through Geobiology. And Richard and I will be back on the other side of this 2-minute commercial break as the X Zone continues from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't forget, X Zone Nation, if you would like to see the weird, the strange, the bizarre, the ludicrous claims being made by people about what happened to Flight 370, that Malaysian airliner that's still missing after 6 days, I'm going to tell you which site to go to when we come back. Named one of the world's greatest psychics, Elizabeth Joyce is now giving readings worldwide via Skype. Elizabeth Joyce is recognized for her clairvoyant ability to help find missing persons, her analysis of dreams, past life regression work, mediumship, and her accurate predictions. Elizabeth has been a frequent guest on the X Zone radio show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, now for several years. For an appointment with Elizabeth Joyce, call 201-934-8986 or Skype at elizabeth.joyce. And for more information, you can always visit Elizabeth Joyce online at www.new-visions.com.
Do you have a dis-ease that you would like to alleviate through a natural means? Have you been contacted by angels, ghosts, or even extraterrestrials and want to validate these experiences? Or would you simply like to speak with someone who can help you find your life's purpose? I'm Dr. Joseph Mara, and I'm offering my services free of charge for first-time clients contacting me during the month of April. These free consultations include angel card readings, guided meditations, life coaching, and energy healing. If you have always wanted to explore these types of experiences but were skeptical or simply could not afford them, then take advantage of this free special offer. Contact me through my website, aguidinglight, spelled LITE.com, to schedule your consultation today. Until then, I offer you love, light, and laughter.
Welcome back, everyone, and as I said before I went to the commercial break, we've got a website up that is starting to list all the weird, the strange, the bizarre, the ludicrous claims that are being made by conspiracy theorists, ufologists, and psychics, astrologers about what happened to Malaysian Airlines Flight 370. The website is www.xzoneradiotv.com/flight370.htm. Richard Benishai is my special guest. We're talking to Richard about geobiology. He's the author of Mission Mother Earth, Peace Through Geobiology. Richard, I was wondering if you could tell me what the natural electromagnetic networks are for the planet Earth.
Okay, these are a series of lines which are going north. They're going north to south and east to west, and these are spaced about 2 by 2.5 meters.
Mm-hmm.
And these lines are, if they're Hartmann lines, in this case, what I described, then they're created by the by nickel. You have a great mass in the center of the Earth, in the core, which is at about 4,500 degrees centigrade or Celsius, and this core is about 4,000 kilometers in diameter. I hope your listeners understand kilometers and.
Oh, yes, we do. Yes.
Okay. And so this great mass is turning all the time in respects to the crust, and this turning, it's like a generator, it's like a dynamo, and it's created these static lines because the rotation of this nucleus is very precise. It's very precise, and so it's creating lines which are very static. Now, I mentioned that nickel creates the Hartmann lines.
Yes.
You also have a great mass of iron, and the lines created by the iron are called Curry lines, and those are not spaced evenly like the Hartmann lines. Those are spaced anywhere from 2 meters. Sometimes I've seen as far as 13, 14 meters in spacing. Those are quite dangerous because they're quite wide, about half a meter, 40 centimeters to half a meter in width, whereas the Hartmann lines were about 22 centimeters. So altogether, when you have these electromagnetic lines positioned, you end up with a grid, actually two grids. You have one grid going north-south and east-west, and the other one is going at 45 degrees to the first grid. So there is not much space, free space left for people to live well. You see, that's the problem. And I imagine that when the Earth was first started by the Creator, then everything was positive, of course, and including the lines. But as man came on board, then we started to make everything negative, create negative things, and so the lines today, for the most part, are negative, and they do not do any good for people today. People sleep on those lines. First of all, they have difficulties in sleeping, and over a number of years, they're going to have problems, health problems, because the lines, the energy, the radiation of these lines are going to affect at the cellular level, and it's going to modify the cells and create things, and after a while, like anywhere from 7 to 10 years, you're going to have what we call cancer.
All right, so let me ask you a question, sir. The fact that there are electromagnetic lines, and we're surrounded by an electromagnetic force, am I then correct to understand that all the negative emotions and all the positive emotions that have been created by mankind since the beginning of time are maintained within this magnetic field?
Well, it's not really a magnetic field, because when the lines are inside the Earth, they're magnetic, you can say. But when they come out from the Earth, it's now ionized air. The air is now ionized. And it's this ionization which is going to affect the body. Now, as to people being negative in their actions, in their thinking, and so on, and this negativity going into the Earth, being sucked up, the Earth tries to do some of its own cleaning. It's got its own instruments of cleaning. It's not enough, though. I may discuss that later about what those instruments are. What happens is that the negativity from these lines, in addition to underground currents, in addition to natural faults, those three things are going to start to change your body structure at certain places, depending where you are in relationship to those elements.
So why would cancer be on the rise? The case of cancer being recorded by the medical community on the rise now, compared to the rate of cancer that people were facing, let's say, 50 years ago?
Well, you've got a lot of radiation that we create, by cellular base stations and TV and radio stations, and you have a lot of even the Bluetooth, which seems so innocent. When people hold it near the ear, that's going to radiate inside there in that cavity in the brain. You have all kinds of radiations being generated by all the electronics apparatus that we have around us, and you have the radio stations also. In addition, you have a lot of chemicals, much more than what used to be.
All right, so we're looking at the increased number of microwaves. We're looking at the radio waves, but is there also an increase in the radiation and the radio waves that are coming to us from outer space?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, wouldn't this play into this entire theorem?
No, I usually deal with just the Earth. I don't think. I've never considered radiation from outer space.
Well, for example,
one thing that does come from outer space. Okay, I'm going to correct the statement, because what you thought maybe as radiation is what I consider radiation, gamma rays. The gamma rays are the ones that do influence us greatly.
All right, and there's a number of gamma rays in EMFs, or the massive solar flares.
Well, yeah, solar flares are going to create that, and we get from the cosmos. The cosmos altogether is going to send to the Earth gamma rays, and those gamma rays are going to hit everything coming down. Then they're so small and so powerful that they can go through just anything.
Well,
including lead.
Isn't the Van Allen belt supposed to be our protector, one of our protectors against radiation and gamma rays from the cosmos?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It does protect us, but the gamma rays still come through.
Okay.
The gamma rays still come through, and they come through. They go through everything, including our bodies, on the way down. So when they go through, it's okay, no problem.
All right. So how do you detect, measure, and change those subtle Earth energies if they're out of balance?
Okay. Let's take, for example, a house.
Okay.
When I take a look at a house, I study the house according to the plans or according to the address, and then I can tell you what the different influences are due to, let's say, underground water, due to Hartmann and Curry lines, due to faults, and due to what we call cosmotelluric chimneys. I can discuss that a little later. And how do we take care of that? Well, we use the mental, basically. We use the mental. Okay, that's just by our thinking. We can actually neutralize the negative effects of underground currents, and that's the major problem with the people living today. And so when you check out a house, you may get like 50% negative influence due to underground currents. That's going to lower the magnetic field, the natural magnetic field of the planet, and we as people love to have 100% magnetic field. If it's less than 100%, we start to be ill, because the natural magnetic field of the planet regulates our different functions in the body, or not only the organs, but our the glands. The glandular functions are also controlled by the magnetic field.
Tell me this, Richard. If these negative forces, and I'll just keep it at that to keep it as simple as I can, affect us in such a negative way, in such a physical way, how is it then our thoughts can change this?
Oh, well, our thoughts are very, very powerful. Very powerful. Usually I can work on a house here from Israel, a house located in the States or in Spain or in France. and it does the work. Just by thinking about it, just by doing what I have to do. From my room here, I take care of a property which is thousands of kilometers away.
And how long does it take you to clear a house of these negative, what do we call them?
Yeah.
This negative field.
Negative influences.
Okay. How long does it take you? How long does it take you to do this?
If it's a house that I'm doing remotely, it can take me like 2.5 hours. Okay. And if I'm doing it in place, in situ, like somebody here in Israel, wants me to come to their house and do it, it may take me like 3.5 hours plus travel time.
All right, Richard, stand by. You and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. Exonation, we're talking about geobiology this hour here in the Exxon. Richard Benishai is our special guest. His website is www.geobiology.co.il. And Richard and I will be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as we continue here in our broadcast center from beautiful Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name is Rob McConnell. Don't go away. Are you considering calling a psychic to read your situation? Then consider David Champion, a psychic medium for more than 20 years with thousands of readings under his belt. David Champion will make you feel comfortable. He has proven to be honest and accurate. He's a straight shooter. There's no guesswork. What he sees is what you get. While he is a medium, most of the calls focus on relationships, not only love, but work, school, neighbors, and more. Need help with finding a job and preparing for the interview? Are you dealing with people who are obstacles in your path? For more information, go to davidchampion.com, $1.50 per minute paid by credit card with a minimum of 30 minutes. For your reading with David Champion, call 1-877-702-8598. That's 1-877-702-8598. Now you can dial in to listen to the X-Zone radio show from anywhere in the world with Rob McConnell 24/7, 365 by dialing 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080. If you have a mobile phone or landline, the X-Zone radio show with Rob McConnell is now at your beck and call at 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080, 24/7. 365.
This is the X-Zone Radio TV show with Rob McConnell on the X-Zone Broadcast Network and our worldwide family of broadcast affiliates. If you have a question for Rob McConnell or his guest, or if you've had a paranormal experience, call toll-free 1-800-610-7035 extension 0 or email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On all social media sites, our one address is X-Zone Radio TV.
Welcome back to the X-Zone. The topic this hour is geobiology. Our guest this hour is the author of Mission Mother Earth, Peace Through Geobiology. Richard Benishai is coming to us from his home in Israel via Skype, and his website is www.geobiology.co.il. Richard, how do you know what to do from your home in Israel when somebody, let's say from the United States, contacts you and says, can you help me with my home? There's something wrong with it, and I think you can help me.
Okay. What I do is I concentrate on either the caller or I concentrate on the address if I have that. But also, it's good enough for me to, let's say I'm talking to you now, I can actually check the energy level where you are because I connect to you. You see?
Right. And how do you know, or how does the person who has you do the, and I'll use the word clearing here, you've done the clearing, how do they know if the clearing has been successful, and what can they expect once you've done your work?
Okay. Frankly speaking, some people don't feel anything because they didn't feel anything before.
Okay.
Others who felt there was something wrong with their homes, they know immediately, once I've done the work, that it's been done. They can feel the difference. They can sleep better. They wake up, they're not tired anymore. Eventually they get well if they had some problems. Yeah, they can tell.
Now, I understand you were tasked with finding 18 energy sites in Israel. How did you conclude that this was the best place to begin, and how did you find them? Where did you start, and where did you end?
Well, first I got a list of some old synagogues from the National Authority of Parks, and then I got the list also from a friend of high energy places, what he thought were. And then I just looked on the map of Israel and used my pendulum to find some of the other sites. Jerusalem, for example, was not one of them. It was not one of them. I worked on Jerusalem afterwards when I finished the 18 sites. So.
And what type of energy did you find?
Well, for those places that I found, either using the pendulum or using somebody's guidance to say, hey, why don't you try this place out? And I check it out, and sure enough, I found very high energies there.
Now, what kind of scientific instruments would this energy register on?
Well, by scientific, let's keep in mind one thing, Rob, is that the human body is the most sensitive tool on this planet. I was an engineer for like 35 years in electronics. And so I can tell you that there is no instrument. We cannot make an instrument which is as sensitive as the human body. And that is the instrument that I use. I use my own body with a pendulum and a graph to get the different values I'm looking for.
So if there are homes where people do not feel a difference after you've done your clearing, and these forces or this energy cannot be measured by scientific instrumentation, how do we know that this energy is real?
How do we know it's real?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, some people cannot feel the difference. Okay, maybe they're skeptic, maybe the wife asked me to do the work, and the husband, as all or most men are, they're skeptic about these types of things, and so he may not feel the difference.
Right.
Maybe she will. Okay, maybe she will. Also, women are usually more sensitive than men.
So would you say that the majority of your clientele are women? And if so, what percentage are women compared to men?
Oh, that's a tough one. Well, I cannot give you an answer because I get men calling me and I get women calling me to do work, to do clearings, and it's hard to tell you. I don't have a breakdown. I have a breakdown by countries, but I don't have a breakdown by customer.
Many scientists might think that channeling is too new age to be taken seriously. Now, as an engineer and scientist, what made you believe in channeling?
Well, in the beginning, I thought it was all,
Bunk?
just, yeah, that's a nice word for it. But after a while, I get into it, and I realized that there's a lot to it. It's actually channeling can be something which is which is defined by an electronic transmitter, an electronic receiver, and you can actually add into the transmission process. You can add noise, just like you have in electronic receivers and transmitters, and this noise is usually created by people putting in their own feelings, their own knowledge, and so on. So you don't have a clear channeling process. You know, the more noise you have, the less the channeling process is functioning well. I have enough experience with channeling, not that I channel, but with channeling process that some of my friends do for me sometimes, to tell you that channeling works, definitely. As Cartesian as I am, coming from an electronic background, I worked for 35 years as an engineer, and I was, you know, if I don't see it, I don't believe it. But, you know, this has been changed. Even though I don't see it, I can believe some things, or I should believe everything unless it's proven otherwise.
So
you got to have a clear mind, open mind.
So what was it in your life that made you change your way of thinking? What happened?
What happened? Actually, I started doing little classes, learning in healing, and apparently I wasn't protected when I did what I did, and there was a break in my upper chakra, and probably some entities or what have you came into there and really made me crazy for about 3 weeks. I had headaches all the time, until I went to this one woman here in Israel, and she took care of it. And it was amazing. The minute she took care of it, I felt better. And I started to believe that this energy is what fixed me up. You know, what better proof?
Did you go to see a doctor about the way you were feeling, or did you just decide that, I'm going to see this lady and see what she can do?
I don't remember. I may have gone to the doctor, but on the other hand, they would treat it like you got a headache. So take a couple of aspirins, and that's it. So.
Now, did you always believe in non-human intelligent beings, or was it kind of a shock to your belief system when you had your epiphany?
Yeah, I always had a feeling that I kind of had an idea that there were some extraterrestrials around, and by the laws of just plain statistics, there are so many planets out there. There's got to be other intelligence beside us. By the way, I'm not so sure we're so intelligent, but yeah.
So tell me the experience you had with the non-human entities.
Okay. The first time I had the real channeling, it was with my friend. His name is Gema. That's not his real name, but he likes to be called that, Gema. And the family. He communicates, he channels with the family. And there are a group of extraterrestrials. I believe 100% that they're true. I believe 100% that they are good people, or if you can call them people. They are helping us every way. And they are the ones that charge me with finding 18 places, energy places here. The first experience I had was when I went with him to one of the sites, one of the 18 sites, the first site that I worked on. And during the channeling, I was amazing, to no end. And the channeling says that it started like this. I remember it very vividly. It said, Richard, who is with you, found this place 2,000 years ago when he was in the cortege or the entourage, in the party. I was together with Jesus. And
hold on for a second.
What?
Hold on for a second. So you were part of Jesus' entourage 2,000 years ago?
Absolutely. I was a woman at the time.
Okay.
And yeah, my name was Johanna. Johanna is one of the 3 women who were present when Jesus was crucified. The other 2 were Susanna and Miriam. Okay? And all the men ran because they were afraid of being captured. So only the 3 women stayed there. Yeah. And this is something that you'll find in the books. The information that I found in the internet about Johanna, the channeling gave me the name. My name was Johanna. I was a woman. I was married to Chusa, who was the right-hand man of the King Herod at the time. And I had a lot of money at the time. I was quite rich, and I gave a lot of money to Jesus for him to eat, and to the disciples also, because he was traveling around. He didn't have any means of earning money. And well, I'm waiting for him to pay back.
I've got a funny feeling you're going to be waiting a long time.
Yeah, no, it's okay. That's 2,000 years past, and
it's a lot of interest.
Yeah. So I believe that channeling is really something that works. I got this information also from another direction. It's not just I didn't base myself on just one channeling. I got information similar to that from another place, and even a third place. So
you believe that you've been able to authenticate the channeling?
Yes, through many experiences. This that first channeling, the man said that my friend Gema, he said that I was the son also. This is really going to get you. The son also of Prophet Isaiah. Like I'm a descendant of Prophet Isaiah. And in subsequent channelings, they called me either Johanna or son of Isaiah. And they almost never call me Richard. They refer to me as those 2. That's the way they see it. And they said that I was supposed to find 18 places and so on. And they said that also that if I had any idea that I was a healer of the planet, and that I had the capabilities and the powers of ancient prophets, and that together with my students, I was to teach people what I do, and together with their assistance, with their help, we would work on the planet, and the planet will pay us back. And Rob, this is exactly what I'm doing today. Cleaning homes, this is small stuff. I'm teaching people in 7 different countries for them to later on work with me for the good of the planet. And this is what we're doing. And we've done already a lot of work, and we're continuing to do a lot of work.
How long are your classes?
The basic class is 2 days, during which time people learn about basic geobiology and how to work with the tools. And I teach them about underground currents and about faults and about chimneys and what have you. And then we also learn a process, a procedure for doing clearing.
All right, Richard.
It's 2 days.
All right, Richard, stand by. You and I have to take our final break. Exo Nation, Richard Benishai is our special guest. www.geobiology.co.il. He's the author of Mission Mother Earth, Peace Through Geobiology. And Richard and I will be back on the other side of this commercial break. And before we go, once again, if you'd like to see what the weird, the bizarre, the ludicrous, and the fringe are saying about what happened to flight, and of course I'm talking about Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, go to www.xzoneradiotv.com. flight 370.htm. You'll be surprised. You'll be shocked. And you'll say, where planet did they come from? We'll be back. Don't go away.
I'm William S. Peckham. If you enjoy a good mystery with a touch of the paranormal, then you'll love my novel, From Out of the Woodwork. It's the story of a young Toronto contractor, Sean Kennedy, who buys derelict homes, guts them, and turns them into multifamily dwellings. Slums just waiting to happen. When Sean buys 29 Livery Lane, the house fights back. Former owners unexpectedly come out of the woodwork as he starts the destruction. The apparitions come to him when he touches old books, reads hidden letters, rummages through old boxes, finds a locket, or reads a discovered manuscript of a murder mystery. From Out of the Woodwork will take you from 1899 to the horror of the World Trade Center, September 11, 2001. Check out From Out of the Woodwork on my website, www.williamspeckham.com.
Rob McConnell here, presenting an overview for Nicholas Paul Jennings, author of a fascinating book, Amen. It presents facts revealed by Egyptologists, facts that enable us to understand why Amen is the beginning of creation of God. It provides recommendations for religious leaders of the major religions to unify their beliefs and teach the Word of God. Love one another. Amen informs people how mankind conceived God. It was the Egyptians that developed the concepts of a soul, a hereafter, and Son of God. And finally, after the worship of many gods, they conceived the belief in one universal God, the maker of all there is. For more information, visit www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com. We're talking about geobiology this hour, Exonation. Our guest is Richard Benishai. He is the author of Mission Mother Earth, Peace Through Geobiology, and his website is www.geobiology.co.il. Now, Richard, before we went to the break, you were telling us that your basic course is 2 days. Tell me about the other courses that you have.
Well, I have a mental course which teaches people how to use their mental capabilities, how to expand them, how to use them to the fullest, and with that we can do a house much quicker, and we can do it remotely. You see, whereas a basic course where you do all the work in situ, where you are supposed to be, that's where you're going to do it. The mental process allows you to do a house from, let's say, from the United States to France, or even within the United States, a different state or a different city. We have also a course on geobiology in churches, which I like to teach very much, because also in past incarnation I used to be a builder of cathedrals and churches.
You've been a busy man.
Yes, and I'm very busy today.
So tell me, what is the price range of these courses?
In euros, it's about 200 to 250 euros. So how much is that in dollars? I don't remember.
So is it hard to teach someone who has never done channeling before to channel a house from, let's say, Canada to Mexico?
Yeah, I don't use the word channeling when I teach. It's people just think about things and they do it.
I see.
You know, you just think about it and it happens. And this is what I teach. And anybody with no previous experience in anything, then they can do the work after 2 days.
Wow.
They can clean a house, and if they take the mental course, they can work on a house remotely. Then I have an advanced mental course, which is about a day and a half, and that allows you to do work like I do. I use some shortcuts and so on, But that's only for people who took previous courses and who have experience now, who have done work cleaning houses.
When a person cleans a house, are they in any danger of being overcome by the negativity of the forces that are in that house that they're trying to clean?
Well, generally no, but some people are very sensitive, so everything around them influences them. I had some students who worked on houses, and after they worked on one house, that's a very rare case, but they would have to rest, not do any other work, clearing work, for about 2 or 3 days to recuperate. But on the other hand, some people can do day after day without any problem.
I would imagine that practice makes perfect.
Yeah. I've done over 680 houses, or maybe 700 houses till now.
And that's just in this lifetime, not including what you've done in your past lifetimes.
In this lifetime.
Richard,
I'm not sure in past lifetime I've done that.
Richard, I want to thank you very much for joining us this hour. It's been nice talking to you. Thank you very much for joining us all the way from Israel. Have a nice night, sir.
You're welcome. Same to you.
X-Zone Nation, my guest this hour has been Richard Benishai, www.geobiology.co.il. We've been talking about his book, Mission Mother Earth, Peace Through Geobiology, and we've been talking to Richard in Israel via Skype. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as the X-Zone continues from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. If you want to see what the weird, the bizarre, the strange, the conspiracy theorists are saying about Flight 370, go to www.xzoneradiotv.com/flight30.htm. I'll be back after this commercial break. Don't go away.